Yo everyone, what's going on? And welcome back to some more RACECRAFT Online with AMS2 here. And this was my final race in Rookie. To get out of Rookie, I had to do 5 races. This was the last one. I'm on pole again and got a decent start into turn 1. But we are driving the Formula V cars, which were a handful. I mean, really good fun, but boy were they were on edge, and you had to be really on it every single corner. And this one I was not. Get a little bit deep on the brakes, and that just allows second place here, Mr. Escobar, to get a run on us. And now we're on the inside for this right-hander, which was really tricky because if you turn in and the rear end starts sliding and then you hit the brakes, you can get an almighty snap from the rear. And so a couple messy corners there, which were sort of left me back into second place. Oh, as this eagles on the grass. I tell you, they were so much fun, but really, really tricky to drive. You're on edge on every corner. But now we go, this is the final corner, which I was getting a slightly better run into the slipstream, whatever slipstream there is anyway, up the hill. But for turn 1, it's really, really fast. So there wasn't, you can't just dive on the inside under braking and sort of get the move done. And here you can just see us on the radar on the outside, so I was giving him plenty of space. These things are, because there's so little grip, if you go slightly too fast into a corner, you can end up in that horrible, just constant slide situation and end up taking somebody out, you know, and it's so, you feel so hopeless. And here, it's just, I was looking for the right-hand side there under braking, but he kind of closed it off. So I had to go for the inside, which I do eventually try the outside move, but it never really worked out as well as I thought it would. It was quite dusty out there and a lack of grip. But then on that time I got the inside line, but couldn't make that work either. So I don't know what the best way around that corner is. And here again, just the trickiness of trying to turn around that right hand king quite fast. It's normally flat in most cars, but here it was a lift before and then on the brakes. And if you can, you lift and just take too much steering input, the rear end can already start sliding. And then here, these cars, watching this back, the cars look quite comedy the way they're handled, but they felt okay. But there is a weird point where the oversteer turns to understeer that I think just looks weird with the camera. But here we get a slightly better run down the inside. Again, now the rear end stepping out is close that time again, so I was kind of back out of that one, so I don't end up clattering into the side of him. Honestly, it was so much fun with these few laps we was racing, and he gets a little bit wide onto that concrete which there wasn't a lot of grip. So now again we come up to this, and I'm looking for the inside, looking for the outside. I like prefer the outside move, or I thought I did. Then here I get a nice clean run, go for the cutback, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't. You just can't get. You couldn't get a better run. Couldn't get the power down. Now I really don't want to be on the inside for this right-hander again, because it's so tricky. So I just kind of back out of that. Yeah, I'm struggling with it. But then all of a sudden it'll bite. It'll go from like the rear end sliding. Then as soon as it bites, you can just crank on the lock and get on the power. It's really, really strange. I don't know if it's how realistic it is, but it was good fun. Into this braking zone was tricky as well, because you have to brake for it, but it's quite a long radius corner. So again, there's no particularly great corner apart from like turn 3 where you can dive on the brakes. And so here we get a much better run, much closer. Pretty much get past on the straight, and now I think if I can just full send into turn 1 and kind of block off that him going around the outside and make that work. And then he starts having to look here on into turn 2, and it's the radar's there. I'm just half close it off, half not. Give him space, it's all fair. And then just about, if I dip the right hand tires on the grass there, and then pick my braking point. You can kind of just go in the middle of the track really for this. I found you didn't have to be all the way over to the right hand side. Nice clean exit out of turn 3, as clean as you can anyway. And then I think that's pretty much us got the job done. As we come into the tricky corner, tricky as ever, if you just look in the rear view mirror, Yeah, there he goes. He lost. I think he just lost it on the braking, because then we didn't see him for the rest of the race with just under 7 minutes to go in the 12-minute rookie race here. And that was basically it. I continued on in the lead for the rest of the race, but it was just, I've had such a great time in rookies. If you've not got on RACECRAFT Online yet, I highly recommend you do so, and I highly recommend you just appreciate and enjoy these rookie races, because there might just be the best fun there is in AMS2. Some of the tracks and car combinations have been great, and kind of getting outside the comfort zone and trying cars that I've never used before. And yeah, these were a lot of fun. The caterings were a lot of fun. The minis not so much. Front wheel drive, I just don't think it quite worked with this game. I don't know, they were just not, they're okay to drive, but yeah, this and the catering were really great. And again, some of the circuits that I've never driven before, didn't even know existed. So highly recommend that. To end this, so I'm gonna show you the final lap, because that happened to be my fastest, and so you just get a bit of a feel for what the lap was like and what the car is. I think it sounds great, was great fun. And so yeah, if you never tried RACECRAFT Online or AMS2, I highly recommend you do so, because I've been having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.